Hey, I was wondering where I put that. You know, besides up Seiko's ass. Greetings and salutations, viewers. I'm StarPrincessHLC, and here's a somewhat unusual review for the OVA of Corpse Party Tortured Souls, the first chapter of a 5-part series of OVAs based around Xseed and Team Grizz's game. Quick little update though. I'm doing this as a review with like maybe a few little clips of my reaction to the OVA in this one for a couple of reasons, but probably the big ones is I don't want to get flagged by either the Vine Brothers or YouTube in general. I've already lost my monetization with this channel. I don't need to lose it entirely because somebody doesn't know what fair use is. But I digress. But quick few warnings here. Major spoilers ahead for both the OVA as well as the game in general. So if you don't want to be spoiled, like in the slightest, I'd advise waiting until after you play the game yourself, or watch a Let's Play like mine, or something along those lines, just to make sure that you're not like, oh my god, you're spoiling everything. I'm making a big warning right off the bat. I'm going to be spoiling the bulk of this, so if you don't want spoilers, close this video now, watch it on your own, and come back. Also, I will be leaving a link in the description below for where you can watch the OVAs with subtitles so that you can see it in its full without, you know, having me spoil the whole thing, or even with my little clips with me reacting silly in the sense. Now, without further ado, let us begin. Yeah. Oh, don't throw up, please. Please don't throw up. Please don't throw up. Oh, thank God she didn't throw up. Oh! I hate that! First of all, this is only about the first chapter in the OVA. The bulk of it basically covers the very first chapter of the PSP game, which basically goes down to the kids performing the Sachiko Ever After charm and getting sent to Heavenly Host, to Seiko's untimely death in the bathroom stall. That's the whole bulk of it, and it, for the most part, it follows that plot line fairly accurate. Like, there are some minor changes here and there with the storyline. For example, they don't have small little key things that happen in the game. Like, for example, they don't do a group photo right before they do the charm. They never run into the ghost or even see Sachiko sitting in the corner. A lot of stuff gets skipped out, like the scene with the newspaper, or even it's cut down very, very minimal, like the interactions with Naomi and Seiko in the infirmary and such. Or even how Naomi escapes the infirmary in the first place. They change very minute little things, I guess, to try and break up for time. Yeah, the color's quickly draining from her face. Don't sit there apologizing, help her! One thing that I definitely have to say is the animation looks really good, and they got all the voice actors back from the game, and so it's like really well done with the voice acting and the animation. It looks really nice. Like, I could see this being like a full-blown anime as opposed to an OVA. That's like how good it is. You could tell they put a lot of effort into this. The one thing though I do have to complain a bit about is the pacing. Like, the pacing of it is, for my personal taste, very fast. Like, there's hardly any time to build up any tension to what's going on. I mean, obviously we haven't seen, in this particular episode, there isn't a lot of blood and gore to be seen just yet. I mean, there's one scene where Seiko runs into a dismembered corpse and she steps on the intestines. It's not Mayu this time, it's some other person that for some reason got cut in half, probably by Yoshikazu, I don't know, but it starts out very minimal on the blood and gore, and then obviously, I guess, the ending with Seiko's death, that kind of scene is very disturbing to watch and everything. So, but even the pacing for that is very off to me. It felt very rushed. Like, I get you can understand, like, having to rush through trying to save someone from being hanged, but compared to in the game, where it was very tension heavy, you were like, oh god, I have to do something, what do I do? And then you're physically running to get the bucket and then coming back and you don't make it in time. But, you know, they seem to kind of rush through those kind of scenes, and it kind of takes away the tension of the scene in general. I mean, it's still upsetting seeing Seiko hanging there from a noose, but it felt very rushed. Like, a lot of all the things that built up a lot of tension in the game, they kind of rushed through in the OVA. I guess they were trying to save for time and try to get as much information out into the OVA as possible, but it really felt very rushed, and it didn't seem like it was taking enough tension into such dramatic scenes like Seiko's death and such. Oh! Well... Oh! And you stepped on it too, even better. Also, they changed a lot of some of the dynamics of the characters with Seiko and Naomi in particular. Like, in the game, Seiko was just as scared as Naomi being in Heavenly Host. She was having panic attacks. And then, for some reason, in the OVA, I don't know if it was that they were making it that Seiko was having some false bravado of some kind, but she was acting like this was no big deal whatsoever. I mean, she was kind of doing that in the game, but not quite to this extent. Like, at one point when they're trying to open the windows and see, like, no, it's stuck shut, her reaction to it is like, maybe we got kidnapped and are in some kind of incident. She never said that in the game. She was just as scared, but she was trying to put on a brave face to help Naomi cope through it. But in this particular instance, it seemed very out of character for Seiko to be just completely nonplussed by everything and acting like this was some kind of joke when it really wasn't. Well, funny thing you should say that. Yeah, kidnapped. By who? Are you actually excited about this? This is completely different than in the original one, where she was like, oh my god, where are we? Oh my god, what's happening? Here she's just like, oh boy, maybe we got kidnapped. Maybe we're part of a mystery. Seiko, I love you, lady, but you can be kind of ditzy sometimes. And also, they were really hammering the, they were slightly hammering the lesbian kind of romance between Naomi and Seiko there. There was, like, no reason for it. Yeah. Is she motorboating her? But they did have to bring the ice cream stuff in again. Yeah, it was still funny and still adorable, but it wasn't quite as entertaining, I think, as in the game. Oh, this part, yes. Oh, Seiko. It's still not as funny as her saying, butter my pooper. Just saying. Hashtag butter my pooper. Oh, Seiko. Also, another thing I noticed with this little thing, they had some random times where they would just put in Dutch angles, which, if you don't know what that is, that's like with After Earth. That was how the entire movie was shot, where the camera is constantly at an angle. I guess it's supposed to be dramatic or stuff, but really it kind of just distracted a little bit from what was going on. It kind of made it a little silly, because it was just all of a sudden the characters are walking around and all of a sudden, boom, Dutch angle. Why? I mean, it kind of made a little bit, I guess, sense with the part with Seiko, when Naomi found Seiko being hanged, but really it kind of distracted a little bit from the tension. It kind of made it a little bit sillier, I feel, by just randomly Dutch angling in weird-ass places. Nice touch with the lightning. Also, somebody was filming in Dutch angle. There we go, that's better. Oh. There's that Dutch angle again. There's that Dutch angle again. Stop changing the angles, people. Focus. Again, Dutch angles. What is with the Dutch angles? But overall, I really did enjoy this OVA. They definitely put a lot of work into it, even if they did rush it a little. I will admit that, you know, pacing aside, you know, this definitely I could see with the animation and the voice acting, and, you know, they put a lot of detail into that kind of stuff. And the fact that they even did an OVA based around the Corpse Party name tells you how much they enjoyed this. Like I said, there were problems here and there with the OVA, at least the first chapter thus far. I haven't gotten into the other ones just yet. Like I said, check it out in the description below if you're interested in watching it in its full glory with subtitles, since I'm sure not everyone can speak Japanese. I certainly can't. But, no, overall, this seems like a really interesting series. I definitely could see this whole thing being a full-blown anime if Xseed and Team Grizz are interested in doing that. But we'll see what happens further on down the line. But thus far, the first chapter, it seems like it's a really good one. So, yeah, I'd say check it out, absolutely. Just be prepared that, you know, it's not going to be as tension-filled as the original game. Like, I would recommend still the game first before checking out the OVAs. So, you know, that's my first take on the first episode. I'll get to the second one in due time, but for now, this is StarPrincessHLC saying thank you very much for watching, and have a fond farewell.